When Candace Owens first met Donald Trump, she was flustered. She was like, oh my God, this is the best human being on the planet. She was like, he is so simple. He just looked like your everyday blue collar worker. He's so funny. And he's almost like, she said, the best person she's ever met in her life. And she said, you're beautiful. You're all days. Or one day come on I love watching you on Fox. Donald Trump said all the best thing that Candace Owens wanted to hear. And she was one of the people who were there to defend Trump no matter what. That means she was a good friend to Trump. Really did love Trump. And Trump also showered her with some good praises. Not only saying that the wife thinks she's beautiful, but also he thinks she was beautiful. That was a friendship made in heaven. That was just awesome. Imagine a president of a country telling you all this. It just makes you go like, I'm just going to lick your ass. I'm just going to eat your shit. I'm just going to do whatever you want me to do because you are the best. Because you are the best.
When I met him, I can't explain it. He makes you feel like he's a blue collar person that's been driving garbage trucks his entire life. The way that I'm serious. I'm not kidding. Like the way he communicates with people, you do not feel that he's this elite, untouchable billionaire that comes from a wealthy family at all. And when he looks at you, he wants you to feel seen. He's very funny. That's the thing that I think gets lost is how hilarious he is. I mean, he breaks the ice. There's not an awkward moment when you're with him. I remember walking into the Oval Office the first time that I met him, and I was so nervous. And one of the worst things, I love you. I watch you on Fox News, all this stuff. And then he says, and I want to say also, you're very beautiful, but I don't want to get me too'd. I don't want to get me too'd. That's very funny for the president of the United States to say in the Oval Office at the height of the Me Too movement. It's just funny. When I met him, I can't explain it. He makes you feel.
This phone call that Candace Owens made all of us to believe that Donald Trump did. This phone call that she narrates, and the way she narrates this phone call, she's got a talent. She's got a talent of speaking and captivating people. She is intelligent, and she has got that personality. She's got that, Candace Owens is that type of a woman where, because the way she puts together all of these conspiracies, if you watch two, you begin to almost believe her without asking any question. The question is she correct? What if she is right? The only thing which kind of makes me be like, is when she says she's out to save the world. Save the world from what? But before we jump into before I try to even give my opinion, which doesn't really count because she's got almost 5 million people watching her and half of those people believe in what she says. If you have a friend, if you have somebody who you think is a friend, you believe is a friend, tells you, give you advice, will you listen? If a friend calls you and say, what you are doing is not right, please stop that. I think most people will be like, this person is my friend. If he or she is calling me, asking me to maybe stop what I'm saying, stop what I'm doing, because one, he has my interest. He cares about me. What would you do? And imagine if that person is the president of the United States. This phone call that this woman keep making us to believe that happened. Just listen to the phone call. Listen and tell me what if that was you would have done.
And I get another message that's like, hey, keep your phone on. And anyways, this phone call is coming from Florida. Pick up the phone, and lo and behold, so here's what happened. I'm negotiating this thing. I'm negotiating Ukraine and Russia, and you wouldn't believe how many parts are part. It is President Donald J. Trump. He is calling me, and in true President Trump fashion, he jumps right into the narrative. We're not, hey, how you doing? He just jumps right into the narrative of exactly how this went down. I am literally, it is hard to catch my breath to comprehend that 4 days ago, I'm ending a series about Brigitte Macron, and now I'm speaking to the President of the United States, and the topic of conversation, no matter which way you want to slice it, it's about Macron's wife's penis. I mean, there's no other way to say it, right? Anyways, I have Macron. I like Macron. We're speaking at the White House, and I'm walking him to his car. And, he says to me, Mr. President, can I speak to you for a second? I say, of course you can speak to me about anything. What's going on? And Macron wants to have a little sidebar. And then Macron says to him, Mr. President, do you know Candace Owens? And I say, yes, of course I know Candace Owens. What's going on? And then he continues his narrative, and he tells me that Emmanuel Macron is requesting to his face that I stop speaking about his wife. And one of the things Trump said is he tells me, she's old and this is really, really impacting her. And then he said, I saw her, Candace, I saw her up close and she looks like a woman to me. She looks like a woman to me. I had dinner with her at the top of the Eiffel Tower. And I explained to him that she has had this amazing doctor who specializes in transgenderism surgeries or feminization procedures. I'm talking to the President of the United States about this, guys. This is crazy. This is wacky. And I said to Trump, and I will be honest, that at that moment I realized that one day this is going to go into my autobiography. And so I got to say something funny. And I said to him, respectfully, Mr. President, it's not my fault that he married someone with a penis. He then tells me, we're really close to getting this thing done. And he throws in the art of the deal type stuff. He starts complimenting me. He said, Melania loves you. She says, you're so beautiful. She thinks you're so beautiful. I said, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Compliments will get you everywhere in life is my mentality here. And then I say to him, what I've agreed to already in the back of my head, I say, look, I'm happy to do this for the short term. Obviously, I don't want to have on my conscience that less Christian men could have died in the East if I just shut up about something. But I'm very clear to him that this is going to be short term, and that I fully expect that in a few months I will be able to speak about this. He was about to commit to that, but then it felt to me like someone in the background was like, no, we need this conversation to stop altogether. And then he doesn't say no or yes, but he just says, that he really needs to work with Macron long term, and they have this long working relationship. And I was very clear, this is not long term for me. If you're close to this deal, ink it, let's get it done. And then he sort of offers at the end, he says, hey, maybe I can come on your podcast one day. I'm great for ratings. They're so Trumpian to give yourself a compliment. So I give him the Trump right back. And I say respectfully, Mr. President, I'm apparently good for ratings too, because you've got a leader of a country, the president of the country, asking you to ask me to do a favor. So
you did not listen to the advice. You did not listen to the advice. The president told you to stop. You said you were not going to stop. You just gave it a break. Now the lawsuit is here. The defamation lawsuit is here. And kudos to you, Candace Owens. You say you will see them in court. You are ready because you believe in your heart that Brigitte Macron is a man, was a man, and has transitioned into a woman. But you still get some of us confused. If you're saying Brigitte Macron was a man, and she was grooming Emmanuel Macron when he was a 15-year-old, or is it 14-year-old? We don't know if it was 15 or 14. And then you say again that they are related. But in that same, in what you're trying to tell us, how you're trying to save the world, you said that when the parents of Emmanuel Macron discovered that there was I don't know if it's a man, I don't know how you're putting this one now, that there was a person who was falling for Emmanuel, and Emmanuel was just a young child, the parents decided to take Macron out of that school. So if you're telling us that Brigitte Macron is related to Emmanuel Macron, so who were the parents who took Emmanuel Macron out of the school? Because the same teacher cannot be the same father of Emmanuel Macron who is taking Emmanuel Macron out of school. The same father cannot be the same, as you say in quote, Brigitte was a man. It's the same person that is falling for the son, the son. And in the same age, this story is bonkers. Seriously. It's just so confusing. This story is, we don't know if actually what she's saying is true. We don't know if it's a lie, but it just sounds so confusing. You don't even know how to. Whenever people ask her questions, she always points people to go and watch the docuseries. The more you watch the docuseries, the more you get confused. The way this thing ends is she a woman or a man? Full stop. All your docuseries, I don't think anybody except people who are invested in you is that human being a woman or a man. That is where everything ends. So now you said you are waiting for that lawsuit and you'll see them in court. So we are going to be watching. But you also said you are trying to save the world. What has that got to do with me? Or that person, or that person, or that person? What is between the legs of Brigitte Macron got to do with us? If I need money to buy a house, if I need money to buy, what has that got to do with my life? Really, if you could explain that to us better to understand, that would have been awesome. You are very, very intelligent. You have people to give us the information that is going to make our life better. So if you could just explain that to us, that would have been awesome. Anyway, as you said, you are waiting for that day in court. So hopefully we will be watching and see what happens.
The life of Candace Owens, it works like this. I wake up, I stretch, I have a cup of coffee, and then I am served with a lawsuit. I think that's the morning routine, my friends. That is clearly my morning routine. It is so effortless. And today I have been sued by the first lady man of France. I want to be very clear here right at the top that this is obvious, very clear that it is an obvious and desperate public relations strategy. That's what this is. I will see you in court.
Due process or whatever.
If you are Trump.
Candace Owens. Remember your very good friend, Donald J. Trump, did call you personally and asked you to stop it. That was a person you had as a very good friend. The President of the United States called your phone number and asked you, please, Candace, can you stop this? But you said no, the money was coming. You needed to feed your people. You needed to feed the 4-point-something million subscribers conspiracy. Because for every episode of your docuseries, you had millions of people watching. And those millions were dollar signs. Bank account was keep getting fatter and fatter. What do you want to do with this money anyway? Your husband is rich. Your husband and your children and you guys will be rich forever. What are you going to do with all this money? Now it's time for you to face the music. And now you're calling on Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to intervene. You said you were ready. You said you could stake your entire career to prove that Brigitte Macron was a woman. And it is time. It is time. If you truly believe this, as you said, I will see you guys in court. Why are you calling for Donald Trump now? You keep saying stuff about somebody. And now they've sued you in court, and you are asking the President of the United States to say, Macron, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're invading our country. No. I do not know the laws, but I don't think that's an invasion of America. Because, by the way, suing you doesn't mean anything is going to happen to you. Because as they say, due process will take place. And if you are found guilty of lying, then. But if you are found that you are saying the truth, then you will win. You will win. So, we are all waiting for that. We are all waiting for that day. But it is time for you to put your money where your mouth is, guys. It is time for this lady to put her money where her mouth is. Because I don't think... Because why would Donald Trump even intervene when Donald Trump already phoned you and asked you to stop? Why are you expecting him to intervene? How? Does this make any sense? It doesn't. I wanted to put this thing on manual focus and it still went on autofocus. But anyway, I'll keep improving. Guys, please let me know what you think. Candace Owens is... Anyway, they say as you make your bed, so shall you lie on it. If she wins, oh my God. But this story is just crazy. I don't know what the legal minds are saying about this, but we keep watching and we'll see what happens at the end. The day is coming. The day is coming.
The first thing you should have done if you purport to care about America and our Constitution, as you're supposed to be the person that's defending that day in and day out, you would come out and you would say, I don't even know whether I believe that she's a man or woman. Doesn't matter, right? I didn't watch the series. Fair. He didn't watch the series. He could even say, like he said to me on the phone, that I looked at her real close on the Eiffel Tower and it looked like a woman to me. Okay, you can say all those things, but you should say it's unacceptable. I'm a leader of this country. It is unacceptable that this leader would threaten the First Amendment in any way. We don't need Pam Bondi rushing to issue a statement about a college male that's been shoved by a student for wearing an IDF shirt, okay? We don't need the federal government getting involved on something so meaningless. But we might need our federal government when it comes to this, okay? The job of the federal government is to defend us against foreign invaders. And I would pretty much say Emmanuel Macron right now is being a foreign invader.
Yeah, definitely. That's squares. They're suing you and they're invading the U.S. Oh, gosh, that's crazy. Wow. What do